That's why if you go back to the beginning of this platform, in the beginning, it was a little difficult for me because I was like, okay, what audience are we working on? And it was even hard for me to say what my practice is. I'm like, But what we have to remember is that whatever we have the strongest mindset on, that's what we're going to attract.
Build $1,000,000 legacy with purpose.
So when things happen for us, to us, or through us, we always like one of the base things, the questions that we ask is like we want to know the what, like what happened, what just happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then we want to know, like, the next question that tends to follow is how, like, how did that happen? Like, what was I thinking about? So and so. And rarely, I know for myself, do I ever, until recently, whether that's something that's good, bad, or indifferent, rarely do we ask the why. Because there's always more to the story and the meaning of the incident than the what and the how. And the why might not necessarily be connected to you, but there's a why in the message.
And as you continue to do the work, the why will come first. Because when you said it, I was like, oh, wait. The why is always, I'll sit in the why first.
Yeah, you'll sit in the why first because you're a spiritual coach. But the rest of us,
the average person does it. I got you. I hear you.
The rest of us, we don't sit in the why first. So we have to learn, we have to evolve to the point where we can ask the question, why? Well, why did this happen? Because oftentimes things that happen to us don't feel good. And sometimes they do, right? But sometimes they don't. And sometimes I think the ones that really gets us off kilter is the ones that we are indifferent to.
That or that still have a trigger.
So
have a trigger, yeah. Yeah.
Most people have this fixed framework of what words really mean. Like they don't have the ability to extend it beyond their concrete cylinder block that they put it in. So I know what she meant, like preacher in a church.
But you know what? I understand. I understand that might have been what she meant. But what, for me, this whole platform is teaching people to think at a different level because they say things, right, based on what they know. So when they say things, it's like, okay, but listen to what you just said. What makes you think that I'm not? I mean, because, and I say that because, so people have been telling me, oh, are you a minister? Are you a preacher is not a word that I don't know if I'll ever be comfortable with. Because I hear preacher, teach her. Teach her what? That's that, but that's just me. But a lot of times when people ask me what I'm not, well, why aren't you? Well, what makes you think I'm not?
Because I am that I am.
Right. And that's what we've been talking about.
That's what we've been talking about. I am.
If that fell on that individual,
your personality, we need to start like, hey, we need to like, okay, this is kind of like part of our conversation right now. So, for those of you who are out there who are like really coming in right now, we're going to continue this conversation, but before we really get into it, I want to introduce, for those of you who may, some of you, it may be your first time listening to us, and that's okay. Welcome to Convos for Your Calling under the umbrella of Build $1,000,000 Legacy with Purpose. And you may say, who is that girl in the funny color hat? I am Dr. Marnita on fire. And I have the honor of hosting this platform with my lovely co-host, Tamiko Ruby J. Tamiko, you can tell, like, I'm gonna say that what I'm gonna say about her, and she can tell you what I do, but I'm gonna tell you what she does, and she probably can extend upon it. But she is the baddest, like,
Thank you.
spiritual coach,
Thank you.
mentor, Reiki master, all of that, teacher, retreat leader. Girl, you have got it going on. So that's what she does. And so Tamika Ruby J, go, girl, my co-host, she bad, y'all. Go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you. Iron sharpens iron. Tamiko Ruby J here. And man, listen, today is a beautiful day because, like my girl, my co-host, my sister loves to say and mean and operate from, she's Dr. Marnita on fire. Well, right now, y'all might see a little sweat on my head because listen, we are on fire over here. Hair on fire. See, it didn't burnt off. Then look at that. Look at that. And for all of y'all that just panicked, go back to the previous episodes and you'll see this is the way I wear my hair. Anyway, here we go. Here we go. I'm super excited. Majorly blessed that this is episode number 9 of season 3. Talk about powerful, talk about commitment, talk about all of the things. Yeah. This is a really amazing moment for me right now. Okay, I'm back.
You know what, Tamiko, and I'm gonna like pick up from where we brought them in midst of a conversation. But as you were talking, and especially at the culmination of season 3, which is the climatic part and what we're going to be kind of like going over, discussing the overview of what it meant for us over the past, I don't know what, 9-10 weeks or more. This has been amazing. And what I know for sure is that other people who don't know me see me. Let me explain what that means. When I'm going into Walmart, just going through the door, someone will actually stop me and say, God bless you. That has been happening more and more for me, especially in the time frame of season 3, that I have been aware of over the past years. And the more, because it happens so much for me, I probably I have this heightened awareness of it. And I know that there is something like really shining from me for people to, like, strangers, like, these people don't know me. And they like, God bless you, or they'll say something else to add value to my world, and they have no idea of like the physical part of me of whom I am, which means, because we've been doing the work, right? For me, what it means is that the spirit is really connected with the spirit at that point, because the spirit is the spirit, whether it's in you or anybody else. So I can't say they don't know me, but my spirit knows their spirit. And so that's really been rewarding for me as I have walked through the past 9 to 10 weeks of, not saying 9 to 10 weeks because you probably missed one. As I walked through these weeks of real absolute wellness, this was our raw season. And real absolute wellness occurs in so many different facets of our life. And it's not just about one part. Absolute meaning whole in total, not positive and negative, just is.
Exactly. Higher vibration or a lower vibration. And as we were just speaking about, and we were talking about, someone made an incredible question. I'm gonna say a comment confirmation. But what I also want to speak to is when we attract who we are. And a lot of people, that's hard for them, especially if they're constantly seeming to be in a space of dysfunction, right? But when those people say bless you, that's because you've blessed them with your spirit. and the light of who you are. Because like you said, people see you now. People were probably seeing you before, but you weren't open to receiving them. And that's the beauty in true self-care.
Mm.
It's not just about polishing your nails and getting a pedicure and getting your hair did. It's when you can show up with the light that shines within you. When you step out, people like, bless you. And I'm like, thank you, because I didn't even sneeze.
That's so good. Yeah, we were like, before we even made our introductions, we were having this conversation of what I was speaking with someone who was making an assessment of some information that I was sharing with her. And she asked me, I don't know if you heard it, I don't know if it made the first part of this recording or not, but what she said, why aren't why aren't you a preacher? I'm like, myself, I'm like, well, I said my answer to her, and Tamiko has a whole nother answer, so get ready, y'all. Y'all know she is cold. My answer to her is, well, for me, I tend to think that we as people have our words and we put them in this concrete template of what we know them to be, and we don't expand the possibilities of what the word can be. So what I told her is that, to me, like, I'm a preacher in my own right, in that Tamiko and I come here every week to add value, to share information about some insights about how to live a real absolute wellness life and how it has worked for us. And so in those moments over the past weeks, what I have been doing is, quote unquote, preaching and teaching, hoping that you can get some added value to give you a revelation for your transformation so you can have a testimony. And so for me, that is my realm of preacher. And Tamiko said something, and I'll let her share what she said when I share my answer with her, because she always puts another she puts a spin on it that makes me like, she's quick with it. Go ahead, girl. Tell them what you.
So as you guys know, Dr. Marnita, she is going to give you that framework. She is going to give you the strategies, and she's going to give you she's going to work it back to the how, the why being last. But when I heard that question, to simply answer that, she gave like all of that and beautiful. And I was like, oh, because what makes her think that you're not, right?
Yeah.
What makes her say, or I would have just gave that. And then, because guys, I'm a play on words, Dr. Marnita gonna break that down and give you definitions and antonyms and all of the things. But when I hear preacher, when I heard that question asked of, my girl, I was like, when I hear preacher, I hear teach her. Because she asked that after you had given some knowledge. So that's where, not being flip, not being sassy, but just being real.
Mhm.
What makes what makes you think that I'm not? Because
That's
it's
good.
right. Because I feel like, especially coming off the weekend I just came off of, how we show up in the world, okay? And what I'm learning in real time is that when you are given with the light, and when you are given with the gift of people hearing you and paying attention to you and seeing you, okay? We've talked about this on more than one time. Your nonverbal communication is just as strong as your verbal communication.
Mhm.
So whatever wisdom that you were relaying to this sister, because the other part of what my sister said before the woman asked that question was, well, why don't you, or when, or why are you guys aren't doing retreats?
You did.
So that part came first. So what I heard in that, like, I want to hang out with y'all, right? Then the second part was, well, why don't you preach? And what I would say about the retreat part of what we're doing is we're building. because we're building like-minded people that are taking this platform and applying these principles to their lives so that when we do retreat, we're retreating from a place of healing, right? Because, and I didn't come up with this phrase, and I'm not sure who did. So whoever did, kudos to you, and I'm borrowing it. But being on retreat with healthy, I'm gonna even say mature, and mature doesn't come with the age, it comes with a life experience that is lived through and then appreciated. Trauma, drama, whatever it is, you've lived through it, you've released it, and now you appreciate it. So when we're retreating with those type of individuals. That's a different experience, folks. That's why if you go back to the beginning of this platform, in the beginning, it was a little difficult for me because I was like, okay, what audience are we working on? And it was even hard for me to say what my practice is. I'm like, But what we have to remember is that whatever we have the strongest mindset on, that's what we're going to attract. So if the mindset is, I don't, and don't be in the word, that's exactly what you're going to get.
Right.
The don't. Because guess
Right.
what? God don't mess around in adjectives and adverbs. They just feel the energy of the don't. So operate in the do.
You know, it's interesting that you said that, and while you was sharing this with our audience, sharing what you just shared, I was just flipping through all the conversations that we had over the past 10 weeks. And what I come up with is I'm like in this mode of creation, and when you're creating anything, like I was sharing with Tamiko in the virtual green room. I have a tournament coming up this weekend, but that's not part of the conversation. But I'm going to briefly tell you about the tournament because y'all know I play pickleball every day, right? I am a pickleball champion.
Yes.
Yes, so I'm in a pickleball tournament this weekend, and it's my first major tournament, like first major. This is big. It's in Daytona, and it's almost 400 registered players in this tournament. And the person who reached out to me to ask if I wanted to partner with her in a tournament, I had asked her to partner at the beginning of the year. This is May. So I asked her to partner in a tournament. It was a much smaller tournament in the beginning of the year. And some, life happens, and she wasn't able to do it. So I never went back and revisited that conversation. Well, about 3 weeks ago, she reached out to me. The life of creation is so amazing. So I didn't negate her, but the seed was still there. It was an opportunity for her to follow up and, walk into it if she chose to. And everything in life is about a decision, what you decide. And so she did. She reached out to me and she said, well, Marnita, there's a tournament. And she had been in this tournament before about 4 years ago that I think would be a great first tournament for you to be in. And I said, okay, cool. When is it? First weekend in May? I'm like, cool, I'm available. And we registered. Now in pickleball, you play in teams. Usually you play in teams of 2. And there's what we call doubles, which is 2 of the same sex playing on one team. And then there's mixed doubles, one of man and a woman playing. And so now I'm registered for a double. She said, go ahead and register for the mixed doubles because she already had a mixed double partner. I didn't have a mixed double partner. So I registered for the mixed doubles anyway, and come to up until like this past Friday, which is a week away from tournament time, I still didn't have a partner. So when you register, you put need a partner. Nobody had reached out to me. And so I went to the site and said, seeing who else male would need a partner. And I reached out to 2 people. They, here, listen, Never take your time in doing anything. If you have it as a desire to do something, do it. Do it now. Do it quickly, because you don't know how long that thing is going to last. With that said, the two people that I reached out to end up missing out on getting a partner, because a total different person reached out to me and say, "Hey, do you need a partner?" I said, "I'm open if you open." So he lives near Daytona. We're partners, but the other two people reached out to me just this, like, what's today? Tuesday, Monday, yesterday, saying, "Are you still open for are you still available to be a partner?" I said, "Nope, I've already been taken."
Right, exactly,
And
exactly.
so just setting, we talked about this last week on Tamiko, just setting the intention. When you set the intention, raise your vibration. We gave you a framework. Raise your vibration, set the intention, and focus on the intuition
And trust God.
and trust God. So, like, if you're going to do something, do it now. Like, life don't get that busy because you have a desire to do something. That desire is God's voice saying, "I want to experience this through you."
Through you. And I'm going to put this part on it. And if you're going to do something, do it well and do it 100%. Don't half but it. I'm not cussing y'all. I don't, okay. Don't half step it. If you're going to do it, do it. I had a conversation with someone, and she's spinning out talking about how much she does. She does so much. Oh, I do. Oh, but I got so many things. I'm doing so many things. I'm doing so many things. And I'm looking at her and I say, yeah, really? What do you do well?
That's so good. Mm.
Out of all these busy things that you do,
Because
what,
now God confused.
right? God ain't confused. She confused. God ain't never confused. That's why God about to
Like,
sit
God
around.
was like, "I want to give
God
you
is never
something, but I
confused.
don't know what to give you, because everything you ask me for, I can give it to you, but you keep
No,
your
no.
focus."
I'm gonna change that. She's asking for exactly what she's getting.
Well, yeah, that's true
I
too.
want to be seen as busy, so I'm being seen as busy, just spinning around like a top.
That's a whole word for somebody out there. I know that.
Okay. And I ain't gonna let nobody put that on God. You want to spin out, spin out. That's why we got free will. But this whole thing, like, I'm gonna look busy. Doing what? And doing what well? Because you spinning out and looking messy and creating friction that, like, ugh, and so, and people will see that, oh, she gets so busy. Doing what? Because I tell you something about busy, right? When I was a workaholic, one of
Yeah.
the reasons I stayed so busy is because I didn't want to deal with my mess.
That's good.
So as long as I was looking like I was doing something, oh, I'm gonna work for the theater and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that. Okay, but how's your son doing? Oh, I was so busy. I got people stepping in for me because I really don't want to go to the football game. It's cold outside. How about that? But see, people don't speak to their truth.
That's
If
good.
you could have seen the face that she had, she looked at me, and if names could be called, she probably wanted to call me a female dog, but that's okay. I've been called worse. Not to my face though.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
that's what I said, but that was a thought to put on her mind. Like, okay, that because really at this point, it's not even cute if it's got you messed up. You didn't have more surgeries than a surgeon, but you've been the cadaver. How you showing up in your life? Come on,
Yeah.
that part.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I've been there, and I was productive. But here's the reason why I put that there. Because out of all of the things and the accolades and the different things I've had throughout my career, a lot of that stuff, had I not journaled, I don't even remember.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
I have the programs and all of that, and I'm on the front pages, make all of these things. But I would tell you 80% of that stuff I don't remember. Why? Because I was too busy going through it. I didn't even give myself enough time to sit in it and be like, wow, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Nope. Nope. Other people saw it was like, wow, yay, ha. Okay. But
Yeah.
guess what? The beauty in it, I bet you I know what I'm appreciating it now. I'm sitting in it now. We doing one or two things at a time now. That's it. That's it. And
Yeah.
guess what? No is a sentence. Tamiko, can you? Nope.
She said no.
Nope. Mm-mm.
That's good.
Nope.
So what I've noticed also about, walking through season 3 is that, I mean, we talked about so much from fear is not a signal. Fear is a signal, not a stop sign. We talked
Yeah.
about words that distort, degrade, and diminish. We talked about mastering the little things and conquer everything. We talked about a lot of things. And if you haven't visited these conversations, I think they're really, really profound, and it adds a lot of value to the content in which we are discussing in the moment. One lady asked me, and this is how I knew she hadn't visited our conversation. She said, "Well, Marnita, this is great. Like you say this, that, and that, but you don't tell people how." And I'm like,
Nope.
like, because if you've listened to any of our conversation, we always, absolutely always give you some type of framework that you can follow in order that is the how. Well, maybe some of people don't know that's the how.
Listen.
I don't know, but I'm just saying, we always give you a how. And if you gloss over that part, you probably want to listen to it again. We always suggest that you really go back and really embody the information, especially if you think it has some type of value for you to help you move forward to into your transformation, because that's what, like, we're all here to transform, all
Yep.
of us, like me, like Tamiko, like that's what we're here to do. Like, we know we are no different from you. We are no more special than you are.
I'm a little different than most. I ain't claiming that. I'm
Tamiko,
most
like,
now. Mm-mm.
I agree.
And
Tamiko,
I'm gonna say this with that. I'm sitting up here trying not to bite my bottom lip. Okay. Because a statement like that, if you really sat through everything, what she said is just like you said, you haven't got to the good part. And this is one of the reasons why, in my practice, that you're not my person. Because if you're not getting it, there's a certain level that you have to be at to receive it. Okay. It's just a certain level. And I love how you said it. And see, this is the difference with Dr. Marnita and I, because Dr. Marnita will break that thing down, and she will give you the framework, the strategies, the tools, right? I'm going to give you maybe a word and
so
keep it
we
real.
working on something special for them moving forward, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
Like,
And
you
so,
can actually have it in hand like a hard copy. So y'all don't want to miss next season.
exactly. And so, that's the difference in how we coach. Because my thing is, you have to bring some gifting to the table. That's the difference in our coaching. Because someone is steady asking for more, and you have, like your parents used to say, why are you haven't eaten what's on your plate?
Yeah, so true.
You haven't eaten what's on your plate. And usually when you don't eat what's on your plate and you're asking for more, is because you're not necessarily able to digest, or you don't want what's on your plate. So I'm not going to give you more. Okay. If I'm a chef of life, if I'm a chef of wellness, why would I give you more of something you can't digest?
Yeah.
That's just me. I'm just saying. Okay. Or that's that person that wants you to put training wheels on them and walk them through. And if that's the case too, Then that's what individual coaching is for.
But that used to be a thing, like putting training wheels on and walk them through, because I was thinking about, I used to work at McDonald's as a late teen,
Mm-hmm.
mid to late teen.
Mm-hmm.
My cousin and I worked at McDonald's. And I remember McDonald's in a day, they had this counter space, and probably every 3 feet was a register. There is always somebody there to assist you. Like, you had 8 lines to choose from for assistance. If you walk into a McDonald's right now, there's pretty much nobody to assist you. There is only one register. The counter is probably 20% of what the counters used to be way back in the day. And if you walk up to the counter, they point over to the kiosk and say, order it in the kiosk. And that's what a lot of us need to be doing with our lives. Going inside and ordering what we want in our own kiosk so we can unfold what it is that is meant for us to have. Because there's not anybody out there, like 8 to 10 people, to help you anymore, because people are busy. Now, if they've reduced McDonald's down to 1 register in the whole McDonald's restaurant, it's not even it's like almost a go place anymore. And if you come up to the register, the person behind will say, go over to the kiosk. That tells you something, how life has evolved, and it's time for you to evolve too.
Mm-hmm. You know what I just heard with that? They don't call it to go for nothing. That's funny.
Think about it. I don't know if y'all been into a McDonald's lately.
Can't even tell you the last time I have, but that's interesting that you would say that, because I experienced something similar in Panera's. Not to take anything from Panera, but I realized why I don't go in there anymore. But that's just me. For something just like that, don't call it fast food and it's slow. You taking a long time.
Yeah.
How hard
It's so interesting. And so even when I've been thinking about over this season, all the things that we've talked about, what I realized, there's 3 characters that are working within us.
Okay.
Okay. One of the characters is the producer. And then we have the author. And then we have the director. And then we have the actor. At any given time, no matter what you're doing, you have those 4 characters working within you. The producer decides what they want. Like, you have to make a decision. What is it? What is your intention? What do you want? What do you want to produce? Then once you decide on what you want to produce, you need an author, which is your hand, which is your mind, which is your activity and potential, to write out the script. And then inside of you, you also have a director. What is the director? Tamiko is very familiar with this, because that was her world. Or maybe it still is your world. The director kind of like directs how the scenes are going to play out. And the director is working with who? The director is working with the actor. The actor is who? The actor is you. So you have these 4 things going on in you at any given time for anything that you decide to put your intention into, to lean into, to stretch into it, because you have to write the script so it can be directed in your mind. That's where your whole visioning process takes place. And the actor in the script is you.
Okay. Okay. That's good. That's good. And that this is cool, because this is live, because based on my framework, or my wheelhouse being this in my world, the first one for me would be the author, because the author is the one that creates the story, right? Where is it coming from in you? What is it coming from? And it's your story, right? The producer then comes along to help you produce what you want out of that story. What part of that story do you want to tell? What part of that story would you like to share? Then the director, because the producer and the author then pull in the director. The director is the one that's going to make sure every scene gets played out in the way that, let me back up, because the producer is not only going to help produce the film, but there's different types of producer. You have executive producer. That executive says that's the one that's coming up with the money. Okay. Then there's another type of producer, the producer that's going to come up with the locations. Okay. But that Arthur, and I'm going to say the Arthur sometimes when we're talking about wellness, guess who your Arthur is? Take a wild guess and go big.
Were you talking about what now?
When we speak of Arthur, we're putting the Arthur first.
Okay.
We're going big and we're talking about our story, right?
Right.
Who possibly, and we're talking about wellness, we're talking about spirituality. So who would your Arthur be, or your co-author?
Well, your mind and God is your consciousness.
There it is. God,
yeah.
right?
God. Yeah.
Okay. So who also is going to be your co-producer? God.
True. True.
Who also is going to be your director?
True.
Holy Spirit.
True. Holy Spirit. Right.
Holy Spirit.
Right. Right.
That's going to be your director. And
Right.
then guess who shows up? You, the lead actor.
But you know what? That is just so amazing because in every area of our life, we have to know that those 4 things are in place at any given time.
And they could, just like you said, they could come in any order. Like you said, you put the producer first. Because sometimes somebody might decide, there's something in me. I know there's something in me. I want to bring this out.
Have y'all ever heard, like, I'm talking to you and your audience and our audience, Tamiko, have you ever heard God ask you, what is it that you want?
That's how I start every session.
Hey, I'm like, listen.
Who are you and what do you want? Who are you?
Who are you and what do you want?
Who are you and what do you want? What do you want? And most people are afraid to ask. They're afraid to say. They're afraid to say. I start small. It might be a Snickers. In this moment, what do you want? Mine would be potato chips. Y'all already know.
Isn't it amazing so many people are afraid to answer that question?
They won't answer it.
Why? Hey, y'all, like y'all out there in the world, why won't you answer the question? Like clearly, clear and concise, make it clear so everybody who reads it will understand what it is that you want. Because in this life, like it's about relationships, it's about your health, and it's about your finances. Like those are the 3 things that we like, and there's ancillary tentacles that's coming off of each and every one of those, like your health, your relationships, and your finance. And there's derivatives of coming off of each one of those. So my question is, when it comes to your relationships, what do you want? When it comes to your health, what do you want? When it comes to your money, what do you want?
That's it.
And remove the barrier of what's keeping you from saying what it is that you want. I got a little attitude about that.
And if you want to remove the barrier and being able to speak to what you want, I ask you again, who are you? Who are you? Because I know I love watching little kids because they don't have a problem with saying what they want. And if they don't get it, they've fallen all the way out. And in some cases, that overzealous behavior, that's why sometimes that overzealous behavior, when that actor is acting out for what they want, that 2 is really a good age. That's where the director needs to come in.
Yeah.
And not beating the hell out of this poor child because
right.
their will, but directing that thing, like, But yeah, that's good stuff. That's good stuff.
So don't say we didn't give you a framework in this conversation either. I don't want to hear it, child. Like, you don't want me to, it's like, look, you want to take this outside or what? We can take this off the screen. Like,
All I'm going to say is turn your screen off. It's great. We didn't just hit whoop.
Yeah, so like
Because
what
I
else?
like I said, I think I talked to this in one other session. I had somebody say, well, I just couldn't get with it. Yeah, it just seemed like y'all was like kind of rattling. But this
Oh,
is also a person that is a talker, loves to be heard, barely listens. I said, well,
um,
some things are not for everybody.
yeah.
Well, could you tell me what it's about? No,
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 period. No, no, it's a full sentence. That's what she said.
period. And not the word period, but the dot, period.
No comma. No semicolon or comma.
Okay, period. I ain't even gonna scream it at you. It's a soft no, but it's a no.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because again, what I realized with human nature, if you want attention, you're going to try to get it positive or negative, right?
Right.
In the space that we are creating, this space is you have free will. You have an option to decide whether you want to listen, whether you want to critique or whatever. And I am honored and grateful of the people that have watched and the people that get something out of it and have let me know. That means everything to me. I mean everything.
And we always say it's not for everybody, so we don't feel a kind of way just because it's not for
Hey,
you.
I didn't had a
They
full.
say because it ain't for you.
It ain't
They
fake.
say because it ain't
And
like
here's
use
the
my
other.
grammar.
Do y'all see my shine right here? I got my shine t-shirt and it says shine bright, but I'm gonna just show you the shine, okay? Um, and I feel like Marnita, it's very important when you really truly start to get in your wellness and your understanding of who you are and taking full ownership unapologetically and being you, you don't get as offended by what people say and or do.
Right.
I had an amazing weekend this weekend, right? And I won't go into the details because they asked not to share all of the information. But what I can say in this and what I saw, I had a moment where I really, in that moment, realized like, wow, that leadership in me is wow. Like it was a very humbling moment, right? Where folks are coming to, and I'm like, and I don't know, I hadn't met these women. I won't say I didn't know them, but I will say I hadn't met the majority of the people that were there. But what was so beautiful about that, I came as Tamiko. So there were certain things that happened and I was Tamiko, right? Because I'm gonna always be who I am for the most part. When I'm not me, I'm gonna stay with Cake Mighty City, get myself all the way together or try to. But
Right.
what I speak to in that is that to thyself be true, right? And another thing that, you know, um, and it's in there, I don't know exactly what scripture it is, but what I will say to this is, one of the teachings, okay, in the good book, okay, is love thy neighbor as thyself. Well, if you don't love yourself, I don't want you over here trying to love on me.
Mm. Well, they can't love on you if they don't love
They'll
this.
try because what happens is you see my light, you come towards me, you're trying to cover me, right? You want some of this. So my thing is love thy neighbor as thyself. It starts with you,
Yeah.
right? It really does. It starts with you. How are you showing up for yourself? Would you want you as a friend? Would you want you as a lover? Would you want you as a mother? Would you want you? You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
And if that makes you cringe, check yourself and listen all the way to the end. You might learn something or not. Okay. Because life, like the beautiful thing about life will keep giving you the same lesson until
Mhm.
you learn.
Right. That-
Okay. Same lesson, same situation, same gentleman, same female, same thing, same family members poking your buttons. Okay. You're going to keep getting the same lesson until you learn And once you can sit in that space and be quiet and be still and pray and say yeah,
Yeah.
it's life can really be a beautiful thing. As my sister sitting up here, bright, beautiful colors, right? On brown skin. Life is just amazing. It really is amazing. And yes, even in these times that we are in right now, okay? Even in these times that we are in right now, life can be amazing.
It is yeah, I don't even
Okay?
know what's going on out there. I hear people saying like it's rough out there and this, that, and I don't even know what's really going on out there, to be honest. I'm just in my friends say, you have your own little cocoon that you live in. I say, yeah, I do. Like, and I'm unashamedly, I do. I do have my own imaginative world that I produce what it is that I set my attention on, and I just focus on that, and I read a lot. I do the things that I enjoy. I have these weekly conversations. I connect with the people who are my I nurture my noble network, and Tamiko is one of the people in my noble network. I surround myself with people who are mission driven because I want to be around purposeful powerhouses.
That's it. That's it. Say that again for the people over there in their living room that might be listening to this on the big screen. Say that part again so they can hear you want to be connected to.
Purposeful powerhouses.
Thank you. Purposeful, purposeful powerhouses. And as
Yeah,
we know, with a powerhouse,
yeah.
that
That's
current is going straight through. Hmm.
I'm going to be a purposeful powerhouse, and I am going to attract purposeful powerhouses.
That's
And
it.
I thank God, like Tamika was one of them, because that girl is a purposeful powerhouse on purpose.
Thank you. And that same thing. I mean, I was like, okay, Lord, is who's gonna sit at the table? Right?
Who's going to sit
Who's
at
gonna
the table?
sit at the table? Because
Some of y'all got too many barns around you.
mm, look at that face. That's my Kermit face.
Y'all do. Y'all got too many, but y'all sitting in a field with too many barns around you.
Barns and lazy cows. Lazy cows. Okay. Lazy cows.
Um,
Okay.
and if that hit you a kind of way, it hit you a kind of way, and like there's no condemnation in that. But I even say that because you, and I hope it hit you a kind of way if it's you, because you have now an opportunity to become awakened to the fact that you have bars around you and you can change it at any given time just by changing the way you see and think about things.
You know, and I didn't come up with this, but this is something that they teach you in um, business classes. But if you're the smartest person in your circle, you need a new circle.
Definitely.
Okay. Not saying that you can get rid of the others, but I pay attention to that too. Who do people surround themselves with, or who are they surrounded with? Okay. And are you surrounding yourself with those people because you're Tyrone? You know, Erica Badu's song, Hang Around in Bars Trying to Hang Around with Stars.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. First of all, I can break that one up too. Because first of all, if you in a bar trying to find a star, that tells me a lot about you.
Mm.
But I love the song, no disrespect to Erica. Okay. But what I will also say to that is again, there's a difference in social climbing, okay, and connecting like minds. Because when you're connecting like minds, even if the people are smarter, there might be smarter in different levels of life. You might have that person that, again, going back to the framework you just gave, the producer's going to bring something different than the author, then the author's going to bring something different than the director, and the director's going to bring something different to the actor, but they all make a very good story.
Yes. Yes.
So did y'all get that? You see how we circle back around to the wheelhouse?
Yeah.
So how do you do it? like that.
Like that.
What? Produce. Arthur, have your story. Direct the story. Act. Actor,
Show
actor, I'm going to add to that. Actor means action, because that director goes,
action.
chop, action. That means go. Camera's rolling, baby. Life's happening. Let's
Right.
go.
Right.
There you go.
This is really good, Tamiko. Season 3 is in the books. I had an amazing journey, y'all listen. I have evolved so much and experienced so many changes and transformations in these past 10 weeks that I am so blessed and thankful and favored in the journey. And I am just going to continue to walk this baby, because I know whatever is not working for me is working on me.
That's right. Amen to that one. And I want to say thank you. This has been an incredible, every time you say 10 weeks, I'm like, wow, it's been 10 weeks. Wow. That's what's going through my head. And it has been amazing. It's been amazing and transforming for me as well. Just so much goodness and a lot of change in the last 10 weeks. Okay. But a lot of change in the elevation. Okay. Yeah, wow. And this has been dynamic. So just the rawness of it, and how it's pacing along. And I'm looking forward to what we create next. We got some stuff coming up.
We have some stuff coming for you.
Ladies
So
and gentlemen, because I'm very excited to say that we also have, listeners that are male that are also getting some gems out of this. So to all of you diamonds,
hint, hint.
how about that? To all of you diamonds, keep shining, keep shining, keep shining.
Keep building, keep enduring, keep making impact.
So just also to bring this up as our loyal listeners, yes, we're talking to you. What we normally do after our closing, what's the word I'm looking for? It's season, closing season. So we take a little bit of a sabbatical so we can brainstorm. It also allows you to sound, just like when you watch a show on television, usually they have seasons. So like from September to like April, you're going to have all of the episodes. And then usually they take the summer and they show reruns. Okay. And then they come back. Well, we're not going to take a whole summer, but we are going to take a bit of a sabbatical to work on our new projects that's coming out. So if you don't see anything popping up in the notifications, we probably we'll do a little tag. My sister is so cold with the technology. She might hit a little spot that we're getting a little thing on to keep you connected. But the other thing that you can do also is remember to hit that like button or subscribe. And remember, it's always great to share with a friend. It's very simple. Right up underneath the actual video, there's a little button that says share. That one family member or that best friend that's going through, just share it with them. We'll appreciate that, guys. Ladies and gentlemen. All right. So
see you in about maybe 4 weeks.
Probably about 4 weeks. Yeah. Because that's what we've been doing. So yeah. Yep. And then we'll be coming into June, which is the birthday month. And y'all think Dr. Marnita is on fire? Listen.
Yeah, Tamiko gets it done in her birthday.
Man, because all of this sounding all cool and smooth. I celebrate me some me. You hear me? Yeah, people like, you still celebrate your birthday? Yep, at 62. Because y'all like, you already said you were 62. Because I claim this year, I'm turning 62. Okay. So by November of the end of the year, she's 63. Because here's the thing. You don't know too many people that take their age up. Most people trying to take their age back. I'm not trying to revisit nothing in the past. but the future is looking very bright
Yeah.
because the present is on point. How about that? So that part. So yeah, June, Tamiko Ruby J birthday month.
But it's been real, it's been raw, it's been absolute, and it's been well with the whole season, Tamiko. Thank you for everything.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank everyone else. All right. You guys have a blast.
That's
All right. And don't do anything I wouldn't do twice because I might try anything once. All
bye.
right. Bye.